Hi there, this is Craig, and this is another mindfulness video. The theme of this one is mindful tea drinking, which is a lovely pastime. I really enjoy drinking my tea. And you can do this mindfully. And if you just as an example, when we normally drink our tea, we normally just putting a tea bag in a cup. We're boiling a kettle, and while the kettle's boiling, we're probably off doing something. We're not present. We're running around thinking, well, what can I do while that kettle's boiling? Um, so we're constantly in our heads thinking of the next thing to do or the next thing to worry about or whatever. So mindful tea drinking is trying to cultivate a sense of space in your day. It's a sense of being with the process of making tea. And we can go further in mindfulness and actually use instead of just a tea bag or just any mug that you find to hand, is actually using something that you enjoy. Having a joyful ceremony around your tea. So with this in mind, I have a favorite mug I've picked specifically for this video, and it's got a nice kind of, you can really feel the warmth coming from a cup of tea when you're holding onto a mug like this. And again, this sense of mindful touch is keeping you in the moment. But you can have sort of joy. You could pick your favorite mug. I also have a teapot here, and it's a lovely looking blue teapot. It's got some tea leaves in there. There's tea brewing already. And I also have a strainer here, which I will use to pour the tea from the teapot into the cup. And it's something that we don't really do that often these days. We're just always rushing with our cups of tea. We're not really present for it. So taking the time to have that ceremony with your tea is really good for you. While you're present, the world can just pass by. You're not thinking about the future or the past. You're calm, just enjoying your cup of tea. And so what we're going to do today in this short video is, I invite you to go and make yourself a cup of tea and then come back to watch the video. You may have some tea already there waiting. So presumably, if you've paused the video and gone out and made a cup and you've come back, you'll have some tea with you. And maybe you picked a favorite mug, and maybe you've decided to brew tea in a teapot, or maybe you haven't, doesn't really matter. But it's nice to cultivate a sense of space around this. And so you pour your tea, so I'm just going to pour this into my mug just over here. So just excuse me while I do this. And you can hear the sound of the water going into your teacup. That'll do. So there we are. And then you have your mug. So just really feel, before you start drinking, feel the warmth from your cup of tea. Notice it in your fingers. This is awareness of mindful touch of the moment. While you're in awareness, you're not thinking about the future or the past. You're creating a sense of peace and spaciousness around you. So really feel that. It's very useful when we're feeling uncomfortable as well to have a cup of tea like this and just hold the mug and just enjoy this moment. You can also smell the tea. Obviously, with a teapot, it invites you to do, there's so many different teas and herbal teas these days. You can have different smells, but even black tea will have a smell, maybe coffee. It doesn't have to be tea, just a drink, something that you can inhale. And you're there with your tea, so you're getting all your senses into it as well. You can look at your tea. It's useful to note where the tea has come from. Someone would have had to pack this in a supermarket. Someone would have had to grow the tea somewhere. In order for some plant to grow, we would need soil, clouds, rain to allow it to grow, sunshine. All of these things happen in order to produce a tea leaf. So when I start looking at the world in that way, I start seeing a connectedness between things. It's kind of like, wow, I actually get a bit of wonder that tea has maybe traveled hundreds of miles to get to me, maybe even longer. And there's so many people devoted to the process of giving us tea. And there's also the earth nurturing the plant, the rain. Sometimes when I look at the rain and I start to get annoyed because it's raining, I remember that no, actually, the rain is making tea grow. And because I really love tea, I then have gratitude for the rain. So you can have a kind of different mindset to things that are happening. We're not automatically just being judgmental about something. We're looking at it and we're seeing the context, we're seeing the connectedness with everything. So the whole universe is in this cup of tea. There's water in there, that's hydrogen and oxygen. All the elements of the universe that are created from stars are in this cup of tea. That's pretty amazing. So having had that sort of little reflection, now's the time to actually mindfully have a drink of your tea. So please do. Lovely. So if you're taking your time drinking your tea, you're noticing the taste. You might notice it swirling around your mouth a bit, and you're noticing the swallowing process. When we're focusing on these things, sometimes it can be a little bit uncomfortable because sometimes you might not want to be focusing on your swallow, but you're present with your tea, and sometimes it can be a little bit uncomfortable until you get used to it. But the longer you kind of stay in your awareness of the tea, the feel of it, the taste of it, how it feels in your body afterwards. Is there a warm glow in your tummy now that you've drunk some tea, perhaps? How do you feel? What are you thinking in this moment? It's quite nice because this can give you an anchor. It can pause you and bring you back to the moment. And you can notice if you're worrying about something, you're in the future too much, perhaps, or you're bothered by something, you're in the past too much. And coming back to the presence of your mug that's real, it's here. I can touch it, I can feel it. And I can also notice what it is I am feeling and what it is I am thinking. And I can just take my time and I can allow these thoughts to be. I don't need to attach to them. I can let them float away and keep coming back to my cup of tea. That's what it means to be mindfully tea drinking. So I encourage you to try to do this whenever you do have a cup of tea. Really take the time to pause, be with your cup, have a ceremony around it. You can use a teapot. You can, really stretch out that cup of tea time because it's a valuable space between all your doings, all your thinkings, all your worries and your problem solving. You're creating a little gap where you're just enjoying a cup of tea. It gives you joy practice, it gives you peace practice, calmness. And the more you do that in your day, imagine if you had 3 or 4 cups like that a day, that's 3 or 4 spaces between all this thinking that gives you moments of calm. So I hope that that's made some sort of sense and has given you a little insight into how to drink tea mindfully. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again in another video soon. Take care and have a lovely day. Bye just now.